Hello and welcome to Not a Let's Play. Today we're looking at a game that proves repetition needn't be boring. Trials Fusion demands that players are patient, resilient and persistent in their ever more challenging pursuit of overcoming each deviously designed racecourse. It's not an easy task. To defeat the game and prove yourself the ultimate virtual stunt bike rider, anticipation, bravery, problem solving and balance are all put to the test. The career mode contains plenty of tracks where the difficulty increases as you become more experienced. For some, the difficulty spike on some of the later tracks may prove too much to handle, but we appreciated the challenge. Locations include a bizarre laboratory straight from a sci-fi flick, an airplane crash site dump, and a racetrack built between deadly wind turbines. These landscapes aren't static either. A number of small animations make these bizarre racetracks feel alive, and the danger ever present. Scenery crashing in the background may distract you. A sudden explosion may light up the screen. Sometimes the track itself doesn't appear until the moment you need it. At first, Trials Fusion may seem as simple as riding a motorcycle as fast as possible from left to right, but there's actually a lot going on within this relatively simple premise. Overcoming obstacles, ramps and devilish jumps takes plenty of skill, a lot of determination, and sometimes a bit of luck. Trials Fusion puts players in a situation where resistance, thrust, timing, weight distribution and grip all merge together to create what is both a motorbike game and a head-scratching puzzler. Unfortunately, there are well-placed tutorial levels to alert players to some of the techniques they will need to use as the game gets more challenging. The bunny hop, which involves well-timed control stick commands, gave us no end of problems both in and out of the tutorial. Also unlockable through career mode are special challenge races, which are unlocked as progress is made in career mode. These might see you unable to use balance controls or asked to perform tricks in order to maintain an adrenaline gauge. Some of these can be more challenging than others, however each has a sense of charm. Despite being frustratingly difficult at times, Trials Fusion never feels cheap or unfair. Sure, sometimes objects awkwardly fill the screen and certain environments are engineered to distract the player, but these enhance the game's challenge and are easy to overcome tests of concentration. If you crash out, it's hard to blame anyone or anything else. Decisions about how fast or slow to approach and how exactly to position your body weight are incredibly important. And the controls are nicely fluid, so the outcome of each challenge depends entirely on how well you drive. Because of this, whether overshooting a jump or overcorrecting a flip, most players will choose to pick themselves up, dust themselves down, wipe the blood away and try one more time. Only this time, maybe a little bit less throttle. Speed isn't the only thing that must be judged carefully, so must the rider's positioning. Moving the directional controls left or right corresponds to the rider shifting his weight forwards or back. Judging this correctly is vital to get past each track's obstacles and challenges. It only takes a little bit too much weight one way or the other to fall off the back or front of the bike, and there's no correcting that. Adding to the unusually diverse controls for a 2D racer are trick controls. Not only possible, but sometimes necessary to perform tricks. Whilst in mid-air, moving the left stick results in some crazy, death-defying acrobatics. Not only do these tricks look incredibly badass, but for some racers, pulling them off is a prerequisite. Luckily, there are checkpoints littered throughout each track, so when you're a victim of an epic crash, which you will be often, it's easy to start again from where you left off. However, if going for gold medals, you'll want to complete each track without ever crashing. Progression is the name of the game. Unlocking medals rewards the player with access to new stages and vehicles. These add a level of tactical gameplay, as the dirt bikes, ATV and Unicorn each have their own strengths and weaknesses, and each course challenges them differently. Successful racers are also rewarded with virtual money to spend on cosmetic items such as clothes and motorbike decorations. For those interested in such things, Trials Fusion also has a rather robust track editor. We were curious and keen to play around with this, but to be honest, the exhaustive menus were pretty daunting. Perhaps a tutorial could be included here. Despite being somewhat awkward to handle, the track editor lets players build their ultimate courses in one of the existing settings to be uploaded and shared. What's more, finding this user-created content is easy, as searching allows players to see the difficulty and recommends tracks. One problem we found was that a lot of custom tracks required DLC that we hadn't bought. Not really a gripe, but something worth noting. We couldn't get online play working, but local multiplayer is ridiculous fun. Up to 4 players can race simultaneously, with each given a dedicated lane. The limited number of game modes is a drawback, but the thrill of fighting a couchside rival and the pressure it generates makes for some truly memorable gaming. Trials Fusion's addicting gameplay and rewarding challenge is likely to satisfy most tastes. Not only is it easy to pick up and play and makes a pretty good party game, but the challenging goals, difficult courses to conquer, and competitive leaderboards provide plenty for experienced gamers to pit themselves against too. Ultimately, it's the thrill of the spectacle that will draw most players in and keep them playing. It's the inventive tracks from the minds of mad geniuses, the excitement of hurtling through the air, and only anticipating the landing when you see it, the head-scratching conundrums and satisfying resolutions, the hilarious wipeouts. Ultimately, it's the satisfaction of overcoming trials.